Hi guys, welcome back. Today we'll be discussing about Campus Activewear Limited. So as usual, the pattern remains the same. We talk about the business model, Q2FY24 results, and then we go on to see the management commentary and the outlook. Okay? So of course, on the first, like when I think Campus ka business model everybody is aware of, they sell shoes. Unlike the other footwear companies, if it is Metro has a wide array. Whether you talk about women's wear, men's wear, and not just that, the heels and flats, they're like the one-stop shop for when it comes to footwear, right? When you talk about Relaxo has its own unique business model where they sell 1000 INR and below, the chappals and the sparks ka shoes that is there. Mostly they're catering into open shoes. Open shoe ka matlab hai where your toes are seen, right? That chappals and Hawaii wear, right? And then we have Campus, where Campus is solely focused on selling their closed footwear shoes, which is nothing but your sneakers. And they are trying to bridge the gap between the, let's say something like Sparks, which is below 1000 rupees, and people who cannot afford the likes of Nike and Adidas, the above 4000 INR category kind of shoes. So this is where the whole Campus comes into play, right? So that's about the business model. So let's just look at the result. So of course the result has been very disappointing, right? If you see, the top line has degrown by 22.5% year on year. I wouldn't talk about quarter on quarter because Q2 is seasonal, right? Because a lot of shopping doesn't happen in Q2 due to monsoon seasons. So people shift their purchase to Q3, right? So usually, Q2 is a very lean quarter for Q2 is a very lean quarter for any consumption businesses. So having said that, but also, yeah, also in terms of the if you have to see the pat, even the pat, actually I think the reason it is way more disappointing is, if you look at the top line has been, either has been flat, or the volume growth also has been, it has been degrowing, right, over the quarters. So it is not surprising. I think the surprising part is the fact that the pat has fallen so drastically, right? Like literally pat is at zero point 0.3 crore, so it is hardly 3 lakhs, versus last time, same year, like same time last year, that is in Q2 FY23, they were doing a pat of around 14 crore for the entire Q2, and right now it is 3 lakhs. So that is just absolutely, like, I mean, 3 lakhs is nothing. Where is 14 crores and where is 3 lakhs, right? So I think this whole, where the pat has been squeezed, is the biggest red flag that you could see here, right? And of course, agar pat to degrow hua hai, the pat margin also has been degrowing. That is also there. The important factor, let us come, is to the volume growth, right? जो भी आप देखते हो revenue में there are two parts. One is the value growth and the volume growth. अगर आप देखते हो, volume growth भी घटा है. Same time last year, that is in Q2 FY23, they were doing a volume growth of 5.5 million pairs, and right now they're doing a volume growth of 3.9 million pairs. So even volume growth भी नया है, it's not there. In terms of ASP also, जो उनका average selling price है, average selling price is at 608 rupees, versus last time it was 658 rupees. Now, one of the reasons why the ASP has been coming down is people have been downgrading the products. So let's say if a person has been buying 700 rupees per shoe, now that person ends up buying 500 rupees per shoe. So that is why the ASP has been coming down. So you can see, right, if I talk about any parameters, आपका top line हो, bottom line हो, followed by any of your margins, followed by volume growth and value growth, which is the two most important metrics when you talk about any consumption business, nothing is there. It's everything is like red, like the cross sign, red mark and everything. It doesn't clear any parameters. Now, one of the reasons, just to elaborate on why the situation has been so bad for campuses, number one is, of course, right, since they cater to this entire range, below INR 4000, they start from 700 rupees. That entire range has been still suffering, with the woes of inflation. That is number one thing. There has been a lot of inflationary pressure. The other thing is the consumer demand that is there coming from this category has also been very subdued. And whoever consumer that is there, see, agar aapko dal chawal kharidna ho versus to buy a shoe, what will you do? Of course, your first priority is getting dal chawal. So that is where that is another thing. So people have been delaying the purchase. People have been downgrading the product. There is demand ka issue that is happening, inflationary pressure. On top of that, you can see that like this year we have seen the entire festivals ka season jo hai, that has been moved completely into Q3. Like last time, if you see, festival was around, I think Diwali was around October 17th ya kuch, and right now this year Diwali is around November 12th, right? This is what even you can see any paint companies also complaining about. The Q2 has been extremely weak because the fact that the entire festival season ka shopping has been shifted to Q3, because hardly at least 2 or 3 festivals to Q2 में होता था, अभी तो सारा festival Q3 में ही आ गया है. So this is one of the reason the overall thing has been this. On top of that क्या हुआ था, these people have this O2O platform. O2O platform का मतलब है online to offline, which means you will generate ads on online which will push people to buy, go to the stores and buy your product. Okay, that is thing. So they were doing this in Agio, and there is another platform such as Udan where they were doing all this O2O ka work. And overnight, because of whatever business ka जो उतार चढ़ाव होता है, overnight they, this whole platform, this whole Agio and Udan में जो O2O platform होता है, it has been shut. So forcing the company to take immediate transaction. So इससे जो revenue आता था वो भी completely गायब हो चुका है. I think from this part, this O2O revenue, 32 crores का revenue आता था. So that is also gone. On top of that, as you know, compared to any other, if I have to compare any other footwear, like let's say if I have to talk about Red Tape also has their own Coco and Foco stores. I think Red Tape has only Coco. Metro has only Coco stores. Relaxo also works on distribution. Here, even Campus also, most of their revenue, I think 60% and above of the revenue, or I think 55%. I could be here and there with the numbers, but there is also majority of the revenue comes from the distribution network. Distribution network का मतलब क्या है? आप किसी को माल देते हो और वो जाके बेचता है, and then after that, once the product is sold to the consumer, you get the money back. Here, what has happened in the states where they do. So Campus ka majority of the sales comes from northern part of India. There, UP, Bihar, and Rajasthan, the entire distribution has been really affected. One of the reasons for this distribution being affected is because the inventory has been piled up. Like I told you, right? Consumer का demand नहीं है. अगर demand नहीं है तो क्या होगा? तो inventory तो pile up होता ही जाएगा. And there, what the company is doing is to, to correct the inventory and everything. They are stopping the supply over there, and and credit में भी problem हो सकता है ना, like you keep supplying them the inventory and the inventory is not getting sold, probably the money, the cycle at which your money comes also will, there could be a problem. So already there is so much problem that they don't want to influx even more problems, so they want to like do the whole inventory correction over there. Okay? And so this all of these combined problems together, just to reiterate, consumer ka demand nahi hai, inflationary pressure hai, consumers are downgrading the products, delaying purchase, add on to that Q2 ka shift of festivities to Q3, and ye O2O ko platform, as well as this inventory correction in this UP, Bihar, and Rajasthan. All of this has been killing, are the reasons why that Campus has not been performing well. The other reason is also like, if you have to talk, even when they're doing the expansion, because UP, MP and all are huge markets, and even in MP they're finding it very hard to expand because it's a very competitive market. So overall, now you understand why Campus has performed the way it has, why the revenue has degrown so much, and why the PAT also has succumbed this quarter. In terms of valuation, of course, people will be like, oh, how do I put this? Like the result has been down, and then of course the usual narrative is that respect valuation and things like that. But a lot of people do not understand the fact that Campus over the quarters have been the pace of growth, which I keep reiterating over and over again. Look at the pace at which the business is growing, right? If you see earlier, Campus and Metro were growing at the same pace. I think Campus was growing at 25% or something, and Metro was growing at 30-35%. Okay? And then what happened? Once the pent up demand was gone, once the inflation, people in the rural areas started to succumb, what happened? Campus ka revenue started growing from 25 to 20 to 18. So this was a sign. It was not the valuation. It was a fact that the earnings momentum jo tha, the earnings momentum started falling, and that was also reflected in terms of the volume. If you see, once upon a time, Campus was selling around 7 from 7 million pairs, it went to 5.5, 4.9, 3.9. So as you see the pace at which the volume is also started degrowing, that was a sign that something is huge, something is wrong with the business, and the business can no longer grow at that rate that it was growing. That is a reason for the whole, the fiasco that the Campus has been doing, right? So overall, yeah, like I think people now get the gist of, like what is wrong with Campus Activewear, let's say, compared to the likes of even the other footwear companies, whether it is Metro Brands or Red Tape and Relaxo. So all in all, that is about Campus, and yeah, see you again next time with another business model. Until then, take care and yeah, have a nice day. Bye.